What's up YouTube, Capital G here, looking at a new Link monster. This is Link Kuriboh, and you just knew that this was gonna happen, guys. Konami loves themselves some freaking Kuriboh, whether it's Yu-Gi-Oh! DM, whether it's GX, this dude just seems to find his way in so many different versions, so many different cards that are Kuriboh based, and it doesn't actually surprise me that eventually they made a Link monster for Kuriboh. So, Link Kuriboh, this is a Link 1, it's a Dark Cybers type, and it has 300 attack, so I guess the stats are basically the same as the regular Kuriboh. Obviously it doesn't have any defense because it is a Link monster. The materials are level 1 monster, so that does make it definitely super niche right off the jump. Its effect says when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you contribute this card. That monster's attack becomes 0 until the end of the turn. Then the second effect, or I guess it continues on to say, during either player's turn, if this card is in your graveyard, you contribute 1 level 1 monster you control, special summon this card. You can only use this effect of Link Kuriboh once per turn. So this is obviously a super niche card, but I actually think that there are some practical applications for Link Kuriboh. The first thing that actually came to my mind was Battle Fader. I was like, well, a lot of decks that use Battle Fader, they don't really run a whole bunch of defensive traps. Usually Battle Fader is like one of their main ways of defending themselves. Decks like Chain Burn, or if anybody out there still running a deck like Frog Monarchs, being able to have that Battle Fader on the field, stop their opponent's battle phase, and then kind of trading the Battle Fader into this is actually pretty good. And I know a lot of people were saying, okay, Cap, you can do that. You can turn Battle Fader into Link Kuriboh, but what's really the point? The point is your opponent could have monsters that have this thing called piercing damage, and don't ask me how many times I've seen somebody drop a Battle Fader only to be like OTK'd by, you know, a Chaos Max Dragon during their next turn. I also think that you could possibly play maybe one copy of this in a deck like Spirals. Spirals are known for playing level 1 monsters. Quick Fix is, you know, like one of the heart and souls of that deck. Alongside Super Agent, a lot of people play 1 for 1 to summon the Quick Fix out, and then being able to revive it from the graveyard just means you have so much access. And if I'm not mistaken, a lot of Spiral players also play like, they play Glow for like the Nat Beast plays. So since this guy's cursor does point down, you could still make this, or you could make this, and then you could definitely throw maybe a Naturia Beast under it, and it's like, okay, I've got decent protection from my Naturia Beast. If you don't have a Kaiju, well, you're not going to be able to attack over it, and you know, you're not going to be using spells at that point. So it's actually pretty decent. And the fact that you can keep a Quick Fix on the field, and if your opponent does try and threaten it, instead of, you know, like, oh crap, my Quick Fix is just going to get ran over, I'm going to take a bunch of damage, trade that Quick Fix in, summon your Link Kuriboh from the graveyard, and stop that battle phase, or at least stop that one monster. Like, I think that this card actually has a little bit of utility. I like the fact that you can summon it from the grave during either player's turn. The fact that it, you know, requires a level 1 obviously means that it is going to be super niche, but there are some plays if you actually look hard enough. Obviously, there's Lyriluche, which the entire archetype is level 1 bird girl, so you know, you could make it in that. I'm not really sure how great it is in Lyriluche because I don't know, just battle protection is not really like what that deck suffers from. Usually they die from like you know, cards like Dark Hole, Regeki, and stuff like that. But it is a possibility if you want to go that route, if you need to like stall for a turn or something like that. If you can't get into Independent Nightingale, you can't get into Assembly Nightingale or something like that. So it's a little niche card, but definitely some small applications. Maybe you throw 1 into Spirals. Maybe you probably run it in anything that you're running Battle Fader in, or you know, if you're running Level Eater in a deck, maybe you run like 1 copy of this just to make it with Level Eater or something like that. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you like Link Kuriboh? And also, do you guys think that this is just further pointing towards more legacy support in the form of links for older archetypes? Because obviously, I don't really need to talk about how good this card is or how it's playable in Kuriboh's, because that was, you know, that's pretty much the intent of the card. It has a lot of synergy in Kuriboh's, but who the fuck really plays Kuriboh's? Does this open the door, in your opinion, for a Link Samurai, a Link Lunar Light, a Link, you know, Fluffle, etc., etc., etc.? Thank you guys for watching as always, and subscribe if you have not already.